Thousands of protesters are marching in Kuala Lumpur this weekend, demanding the resignation of the country's leader. Malaysia's Prime Minister has been accused of siphoning off millions of dollars of public funds into his own personal bank account. He has denied any wrongdoing. Well, Clare Rewcastle Brown is a journalist based in the UK who made first allegations against the Malaysian Prime Minister, and she joins us now from central London. The evidence trail that you've managed to uncover is what?
Well, we were able to demonstrate that $681 million went from a bank, Fulcrum Bank, which is an Arab-owned bank in Singapore, into the Prime Minister's personal bank account. And until my blog provided that information, no one in Malaysia appeared to know about this money. And indeed, the Prime Minister's closest political allies were unaware of it. But he's been unable to deny this sum of money went into his account just before the last election. And after a considerable delay, he's come up with the excuse that an anonymous Middle Eastern power apparently provided this as a donation to help him win the last election. And as excuses go, it's a pretty poor excuse, because obviously that raises many more questions about the legitimacy of his election win. He's effectively admitted that he bought the last election with the help of $700 million provided by an anonymous foreign ruler.
But the Malaysian legal system does not appear to be ready to criticise him.
Well, the problem is, as every Malaysian is now painfully aware, the Prime Minister has accumulated so much personal power in Malaysia. His party has been in office since independence, and gradually over that period, the Prime Minister has come to control every aspect of Malaysia's powers. There are no checks and balances. He is the head of the party, he is the Prime Minister, he's the Finance Minister, and it's well known that the judiciary has been brought under the control of the executive, so nobody trusts the courts any longer. So when this scandal erupted, there were a number of attempts. The Prime Minister actually initiated several investigations, but as those investigations started to get too close to him, frankly, he moved and sacked his deputy prime minister, several of the more vocal members of his cabinet, and indeed he sacked the Attorney General, who had been on the point, I was able to demonstrate, of bringing up a charge sheet calling for the arrest of the Prime Minister himself. So he has now effectively taken extreme strong-arm tactics to control this situation and to try and stay in power. And this is what's brought everybody out on the street.
And now this revelation and your journalistic endeavour has not come at no cost. There's talk of an arrest warrant. Do you know what for, and where are we with that?
Well, I have some good personal news, which is that Interpol announced yesterday that it was not going to countenance Malaysia's request for a red notice alert on me. They've charged me under their own terrorism laws, actually. They say that I have been indulging in activities detrimental to parliamentary democracy, which, to be honest, I think is what most Malaysians think the Prime Minister's been up to, buying the last election and sacking everyone who tries to get to the bottom of what has happened to the billions which have disappeared from the country's various funds, including the Development Fund, which is 11 billion in the red at the moment. This is part of a much wider scandal that I and other journalists have been working on uncovering for the last several months. There have been all sorts of issues that go back to the Prime Minister's door relating to billions of dollars that have disappeared in public money. I'm a free woman internationally, but I would be very ill-advised to go to Malaysia right now.
Does anyone agree with you in Malaysia, or maybe the more relevant point to make, have the strength of character or the fearlessness to say so?
Well, you've got an estimated 250,000 people out on the streets at the moment, and the majority of the banners appear to be relating to this particular scandal. I mean, the Berset movement is an established anti-corruption movement and has been operating for several years, but obviously what today's march is focusing on is this particular issue where we've really shown corruption in the highest places, and this is right up at the Prime Minister's door. And this is not just an opposition march. Of course, lots of people are motivated by the fact that the opposition leader who won the majority of the votes at the last election is now in jail, forced in there on trumped-up charges, most people believe, of so-called sodomy. But there is also a large number of people who would consider themselves as being within the ruling UMNO movement who have come out against the corruption allegations about, with this Prime Minister. Many within UMNO who are calling for him to go. So I think a lot of people agree with me on this.
Clare Rewcastle Brown, thanks for being our guest today.